Hey, this might be a part two to the recent video regarding a timing issue to consider if you're getting divorced. That first one addressed the lower income spouse that's getting divorced and they're close to 10 years, but maybe not quite 10 years. From the perspective of the more highly incomed individual spouse who's part of that divorce, there's reason for them to consider this too. And this is just kind of thinking about things that are going to be occurring later on, potentially. As the higher income spouse, there is a greater likelihood that you may be paying alimony. And that alimony can go on for the lifetime, potentially, of the lesser earning spouse. And of course, shorter marriages tend to result in much less alimony, if any. But as a safety precaution, and of course, if you care about your ex anyway, if you delay or don't get divorced until the 10-year mark has passed, that's when the divorce becomes final. So you could be separated. That's fine. Your ex-spouse will have the opportunity, if that ex-spouse is of a far lower income than you over the course of their lifetime, of at least having a divorced spouse benefit off of your work record. And if that's the case, that can reduce any alimony that may be due at that time. It can all be taken into consideration because the divorce courts look at everybody's income. So if someone starts bringing in income later that they didn't have before, it can be grounds for a potential redetermination, recalculation of an alimony obligation. So as the wealthier spouse, it behooves you perhaps to also think about whether you want to push that divorce through before the 10 years, or maybe let it slip over the 10-year mark by a day, so that later on, when your ex-spouse is 62 or 67, he or she will have the eligibility potentially to collect a benefit amount based on your work record versus their own. And if that ends up being a higher amount, that's what they're going to end up doing. And that could potentially positively affect you in terms of what you would owe in alimony. It also could just be something, if you have an amicable divorce, hopefully, that you would want to do anyway. Anyway, so consideration for the wealthier spouse, not just the lower earning spouse. Okay, have a great one. Bye.